Hi guys, Richard here, and I'm on a island, Langkawi. It's about a 4-hour ferry boat ride from Malaysia, and as you can see, this place is really beautiful. Um, Epic views, peaceful because it's a small island, um, and I thought for this video I'll explain my 3 things I look at before I buy a share. And yes, I'm about to put my 3 secrets out there, because many people ask me, Richard, how do you know what is a quality share and what's a junk share? Because here's the truth, not all shares on the stock market are quality shares. Some are junk. So I thought I'll record a special video from Langkawi and explain my 3 things I look at before I buy any share. And I learned this from Warren Buffett. As you know, he's the world's wealthiest share investor. Like currently he's worth more than 90 billion US, not rands, billion. And he actually turns 90 years old this year, so a billion for every year. But I've read 9 of his books, and this is literally the 3 things Warren Buffett looks at before he buys a share. It's the 3 things I look at before I buy a share, and the 3 things that most wealthy investors look at before they buy shares. Because many times I meet people and they ask me, Richard, what do you do? And I tell them I'm a share specialist, and then they're like, oh, what do you think about this share or that share? And then I'm like, who told you about that share? And then they tell me, no, my uncle. And then I'm like, okay, what does your uncle do? And then they tell me, no, he's a barber. Okay, so if you take advice from a barber, you're going to get barber returns. You got to take your advice from investors and not from traders. And one of my videos I explain the difference between an investor and a trader. But investors don't buy shares every day. They don't look for overnight riches or a get rich quick thing. No, they invest for the long term. So whereas the traders buy and sell every day, an investor buys and holds. For 6 months, 12 months, 5 years, we buy and hold. So what are the 3 things? If you want to pause this video, get a notepad, iPad, anything to take notes, but you want to write this down. The first thing I look at before I invest in a company is the balance sheets. Are you making money? Because if you're not making money, it's not a business, it's a hobby. But we might take that a step further. The goal of business is not to make money, it's to make a profit. And you can also use your profit for good. Which is ultimately the goal of business, to be a good agent in your country, in your community, business for good. So when we look at the balance sheets, we look at something tangible. Is your business profitable? And then also, is there a track record of your profitability, and can you sustain these profits? So that's number 1, balance sheets. And that's why I love investing into public listed companies, because your balance sheets are transparent. Small businesses, you don't actually know if they just made up that stuff on a spreadsheet. But a public business has an accountant, has an auditor, it's transparent. So I love to invest in listed businesses only. So does Warren Buffett, because there's more transparency. And then the second thing I look at is management team. Because you can have the best product and service. If it's run by bad people, they'll run it into the ground. So who is the CEO? Who is the CFO? Who is on the board? What have they done? What is their track record? Because if you invest in a good management, the profits will go up and up and up, because they know what to do with those profits. They make sales, they know what to do with those revenues. Reinvest it. Excuse me, just having a cocktail here on the beach. Yes, I know I'm bragging. But where were we? Yeah, step number 3. The third thing I look at, and this is also very important, business model. Is this business model innovative? Is this business model aggressive? Does this business model support growth? Because investors, they just don't invest in for the now, they invest for the next year, the next 5 years, the next decade. So does this business model, is it sustainable for growth? Because here's another tip. If you invest in a good business in a dying industry, it's a bad investment. It might be a good business, But if it's in an industry that is shrinking over time, it will affect the bottom line and the profits. So the business model must be innovative. So many people speak about, oh, you must invest in Uber and Airbnb and Alibaba. That's old news. Maybe a decade ago, if you had to invest in Facebook, you would have made money. But you can't invest in those businesses now. It is overvalued. So you must look at the future. Where's the next growth industry over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years? And that's why I love tech stocks. I love